What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we're going to talk about 2024's The Crow. I was lucky enough to be invited by Lionsgate to an early screening of 2024's The Crow starring Bill Skarsgård. It was such a fun time and a really great experience. They had the screening at the Regal, and this was the first time I've ever been to a Regal theater, and I just have to say, absolutely beautiful theater. I've been a little spoiled with going to Star Cinema because it's close to the house. They got them premium seats, but man, I can really see myself checking out some movies at the Regal in the future. They gave us a bunch of cool free swag, which I'm a sucker for swag, so you know I was excited. I got this t-shirt that I have on right now, which is great because like it's a really good quality shirt, but they sprung for the long sleeves and it's white, which is always a little weird because I never buy white clothing, but it is a nice little break in all of the black t-shirts that I own. They also gave us these little temporary tattoos. Obviously a bunch of them are the ones that you see on the character of Eric in this new version of The Crow. I also got this really cool poster featuring the new Eric and Shelley of 2024's The Crow. One of my favorite things about the premiere, though, is the fact that they had a DJ bumping some tunes in the theater before the movie started, as well as they were playing some Crow trivia. But there is just something about, like, the premiere. You already have excitement in the air of a new movie, and you're just, like, jamming out to Korn and System of a Down. That is a vibe. You officially have me spoiled now, Lionsgate, because I expect every movie to start off with a DJ. But the question is, did I enjoy the remake of this cult classic movie? It's been almost 2 weeks since I've seen the movie, and I've had plenty time to simmer and stew in my feelings about the movie. And now that it's officially out in theaters, it's time to nerd out with y'all. I'm gonna keep this review fairly spoiler-free, as spoiler-free as I can manage. I'm honestly pretty bad at that. I like to deep dive. I like to get into the details. But I think for the most part, I'm gonna try to remain spoiler free. But look, I'm just gonna put the warning out there. You're watching a review for a movie and you haven't seen it before and you get details that you didn't want to hear, that's on you. That's on you. Go see the movie. Then come back and watch this review. When I first heard the official announcement that they were remaking The Crow, I was not excited. The original Crow movie is an iconic gothic masterpiece, so the 2024 version had a lot to live up to. The new version of this story could not be more different than the original, and I can respect that. It's extremely pointless to remake a movie with the exact same script and story, so I love the fact that they made a Crow for a new generation. That being said, I am not that generation. The terrible clothing and haircuts, the CGI and glossy cinematography was a bit distracting for me. And as a millennial, I couldn't help but sit there and compare this to the 1994 classic. Several people involved with the film stated that this movie is not a remake of the original movie, but rather an adaptation of the graphic novel by James O'Barr. Now, I've never read the graphic novel, so I really can't speak on that. Now, the basic premise was the same. You have two people that were in love are killed, so your boy Eric comes back from the dead to avenge the murder of the love of his life. You actually see the origin story of Eric and Shelley in this movie. You really see a lot more of their relationship in general than you ever saw in the original movie. Yet something's missing. I didn't feel their chemistry. I didn't care about the characters or that they died. I just didn't have any sympathy for them. And maybe it's because they're portrayed as like degenerate youth caught up in a drug-induced passion. God, I sound like an old fart right now. In the original movie, you only see glimpses of their relationship in these flashbacks with no dialogue, yet you feel their love and you feel Eric's pain in Shelley's absence. And it's absolutely mind-blowing that they didn't capture that in this movie. This is why we're here. I need to feel their love, okay? I need to feel Eric's pain so I can cheer him on as he just kills all the men that murdered the love of his life. Speaking of relationships, we're missing two major characters in this film. That being Sarah, the girl that Eric and Shelley take care of, and Sergeant Albrecht, the cop that ends up helping Eric. And this took so much heart out of the film. Now, we can have different characters, okay? We don't have to have the same exact characters from the movie. We're telling a different story here. The problem is that we don't get any other characters that fill these roles. One of the most important things in storytelling is building a world that helps you understand your main character, who they are, and why they are who they are. The 1994 Crow built a world that brought depth and understanding to Eric's actions throughout the film. Because we didn't have any of that in this new film, we get a very flat Eric Draven, who also didn't have the charm and the humor that Brandon Lee brought to the role. So with that, my initial reaction to the casting,
how dare you stand where he stood,
still remains. I definitely wasn't a fan of the look of the Crow. He just looks like a goth version of Jared Leto's Joker. And I think the reason they went in this direction, it's an attempt to make the story more real and more contemporary. I am here to watch a story about supernatural vengeance and true love so I can escape the real world. I'm here for theatrics, baby. I ain't here for the real world. I can go outside for that. And as Really? Danger is afoot. Casa de Nerd Squish. Oh, nope, we're not safe. Still not safe. Are we safe? Nope. And as I previously mentioned, I'm a millennial. I'm not here to see doodle bear tattoos and whatever that haircut is. You look dumb. You literally have a tattoo of a face where your nipple is the eye. Okay, I know a lot of people defended this because allegedly this is comically accurate, like this is tattoos, including the face nipple eye situation. It was in the comics, okay, it was in the graphic novel, and that's great, okay, but there are just some things that maybe shouldn't be accurate to their source material. Nipple eyes are one of them. Another huge change to the story is that we had much more supernatural aspects. Our villain was a demonic crime lord, which I wasn't really a fan of. In the original story, the only supernatural thing we had was Eric and the crow that brought his soul back to life so he could right the wrongs. And we didn't even really have that aspect in the film. I mean, I guess it technically was, it was just kind of in a different way, but that just leads me to tell you about what I did like about this movie. Because yes, I do have some good things to say about this film. I always give credit where credit is due. As I said, the lore of the crows carrying the souls to the land of the dead, all of that is handled quite differently in this film. You actually see the other realm and you meet Kronos, the spirit that guides Eric on his mission to kill all these dudes so that he can exchange his soul for Shelley's. I really enjoyed the visual of the Crow realm and this spirit to help guide Eric on his mission. And I think this character was an attempt to maybe kind of fill that relationship, that hole left with Sarah and Albrecht, and it kind of made Eric, this new Eric, more of a rounded character, but it didn't have quite the same effect. And I also missed the link between Eric and the Crow. You know, in the movie, there's talk of the lore of the crows and they bring people back to life to right the wrongs and do the vengeance and all the things, right? In the original movie, they discovered that the crow was the link. You have this guy, Eric, he can't be killed. He can't be hurt unless you hurt the crow. The crow is the link, and they totally just kind of didn't grasp on that in this movie. You had a lot of crow visuals. When you went to the realm, there was like tons of them, not just one, you know, following around on a shoulder. So I don't know, they had the visuals there, but they didn't have the lore behind it. The other thing that I really liked about the film was the gore effects. I didn't necessarily like the fact that the movie was as gory as it was. You know, I get that this is a violent story, okay? We're doing vengeance, we're doing the kills, but that doesn't mean we have to have like a close-up on like him removing a guy's jaw. That's not why we watch The Crow. However, in the midst of a whole lot of CGI, you had some really beautiful practical gore effects. Ultimately, I didn't like the film because it lacked the heart of the original. It made the action the spotlight and it kind of over-explained things. Now, had I never seen the 1994 Crow classic, I would probably like this movie more. But that original is just so iconic that there was no way that any remake was gonna live up to that. You had Brandon Lee, God rest his beautiful soul, walking around in leather and face paint looking like a sexy work of art, referencing Edgar Allan Poe in a Gotham-esque city. That's perfection. I want to thank Lionsgate once again for inviting me to see an early screening of this movie. I know I kind of tore it apart in this video, so I'll probably never get invited to anything like this again by them. I'm sorry, but I'm always gonna give my honest opinion when I do a review. But I still thoroughly enjoyed going to the movies and watching this movie. I'm a movie person, okay? No matter the movie, if I get a chance or an invite to go to a theater, like, I just love that. And even if I don't like a movie, the experience is just so fantastic. There's just something about sitting in a big dark room with a bunch of strangers and watching a story unfold together that's so exciting. And I do think that there's a lot of people that are really going to enjoy this movie. I think it's amazing that a new generation is getting their own Crow and a new gothic romance to dream about. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean that you won't, so definitely go check this movie out and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so when new videos hit the channel, you'll be notified. And as always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you nerds later!